First, we want to start with WAAY 31 News anchor Dan Schaefer, who joins us live at Kennedy this evening. And Dan's been leading our coverage from the coast all week long, keeping a close watch on those launch preparations. He joins us now with the update. Dan?
Thanks, Marie and Nikel. T-minus 17 hours and 17 minutes right now. If you're doing the math at home, it doesn't quite add up to the launch time. That's because the T-minus countdown includes some built-in holds, so that countdown clock will actually stop for several hours between now and the actual launch time. But teams here at NASA say they are confident. They are confident in their people. They are confident in their hardware. That includes the SLS rocket, the Orion spacecraft, and all the ground support systems that go into place to launch the rocket. It's been a busy 12 to 24 hours at the launch pad, but the team says they are absolutely ready to go. They have been doing their troubleshooting and testing of the problems that they encountered during that launch attempt on Monday. They've got all those wrapped up. They're now doing their checklist. They're going down that list, preparing the SLS for another shot at liftoff tomorrow afternoon, I should say. The Orion spacecraft is now powered up and it is checked out. Batteries on the Orion, the core stage batteries, they're all being charged up right now for flight. And the rocket's second stage is also being powered up. It's the interim cryogenic propulsion stage. Will actually propel Orion to the moon. It's a complicated business, this business of launching a human-rated spacecraft into deep space. NASA hasn't done this in 50 years, but the team here is ready, and as ready as they'll ever be, they say, for this first ever flight.
In my mind, I think if the conditions with weather and the hardware align, we'll absolutely go. And we have the right team at kind of the right time. So, and those statistics, right, those probabilities go way up if we get 2 attempts off before the end of this window.
And a lot has to come into alignment to make this happen. Launch Director Charlie Blackwell-Thompson threw out an interesting statistic. She says there are 489 launch commit criteria that cannot be violated for this thing to launch. Those include, of course, technical and weather issues. We saw those come into play on Monday. Weather is always the great unknown. Today, weather at launch time at 2:17 today, same launch time as tomorrow, would have scrubbed or at least delayed liftoff because it was pouring down rain here at Kennedy Space Center, and they won't launch in the rain. But we're hoping that's not the case in another 21 to 23 hours from now. Up next, overnight, they're going to be clearing the launch pad of all personnel so they can get ready for that critical tanking operation. Now, even though, of course, the launches happen here at Kennedy, it wouldn't be possible without all the hard work from the folks at Marshall Space Flight Center in North Alabama. The SLS and many of its components are designed and built and tested right there at Marshall. So coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a closer look at some of the mission-critical components of the SLS that have a direct relation to those folks working hard in North Alabama and a connection to the Rocket City in general. We will give you a closer look at those coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live at Kennedy, I'm Dan Schaefer, WAAY 31 News.